Ciao, you join me here in, what's it called? Monte Santo, here in Napoli. Now I have a Unico Campagna Naples day ticket, which allows me to have unlimited travel in Naples basically. So we're going to be trying to go on all the different types of transport, starting with the Finicular Railway. They have 4 funicular lines here in Naples. I'm going to try and go on a few of them, probably not all 4, but at least 1 or 2. So I'm here just outside line 2, just got the train. It's a very weird sort of like mainline style train on an underground line, but whatever. And we're going to go to the Finicular Railway, which is just a 5-minute walk from here.
So yes, Naples is the regional capital of Campania in Italy, and is the 3rd largest city in the country, with a population of around 900,000. The city has a rather developed public transport system, albeit a complicated one, with metro lines, trolleybuses, trams, commuter rail lines, as well as public lifts and funicular railways, an oddity due to Naples' uneven terrain. In today's video, we'll be looking at 3 of the 4 funicular lines, the metro lines, tram lines, and some of the regional railway routes. I made a whole video on Naples' main commuter railway, the Circumvesuviana, which I'll link in the description below. We'll start with the funicular railways though. There are 4 funicular lines: Monte Santo, Centrale, Chiaia, and Magdalena. Apologies for my pronunciation. I'll only be going on 3 as the latter is rather tucked away and in an awkward to get to part of the city. The first, Monte Santo, opened in 1891 and carries over 4 million people each year. It has 1 intermediate stop connecting the Morgan area to the Spanish Quarter. The line is 825 metres long, ascending 168 metres at a 23% gradient. As with all the funiculars, they are operated by the A&M company, who provides services across Naples, including the buses, metro and tram networks. The funicular itself is really quite enjoyable and runs every 10 minutes. I'm unsure how much a flat single fare costs, but a Unico Campagna Napoli ticket, which covers all transport in Napoli, costs just €5.40. The 1 intermediate stop, Corso Vittorio Emanuele, is just 1 street above where we started, but from then we dive into tunnels before reaching Morgan Station, the Termini.
Well, a pretty fun ride on a funicular. I haven't been on a funicular in years, and that one was apparently the busiest. Well, I don't know if it's exactly that line, but this funicular railway in Naples, the lines are the busiest in the world. And I think we're going to go on the busiest one in a little while. I'm just venturing over to the castle here in Naples. You can just see it out the corner of my eye, so let's go and see what the castle's like, and then we'll go on the busiest funicular. I think it's literally called Finicular Central or something like that. So let's do that. So yes, on my way to Finicular Central. This is going to be the 2nd out of the 3 funiculars I'm going to go on. There are 4, but that one's quite out of the way, so I'm not going to go on that one. We're going to go on this one up and down, or down and up, should I say. And then we're going to go on another one down and then connect onto a metro line, I think. There are 2 metro lines, I think, in Naples, 2 underground ones, and then there's 2 tram ones, which are also on the main map. They're counted as metro lines. There's also like trolley bus services and local train services. It's quite complicated, Naples, but it does make you wonder that a city of this size has all this public transport infrastructure. Here in the UK, our cities have basically nothing. Leeds has literally nothing, just buses. So yeah, we're going to go on. I think the one at Funicular Central, the next one that go on, is the busiest in the world. I think it's a very developed network here in Naples. I sort of wish the UK had more cities with networks like this. It seems as though only London has a proper transport system. But yeah, let's go to Finicular Centrale, which I don't even think is in the centre of Naples. I don't know why it's called that. Somebody enlighten me in the comments.
No idea who that guy was. Anyway, now let's talk about the 2nd funicular line, and the busiest in Naples. The Central Funicular is not just the busiest in Naples, but actually the busiest funicular railway in the world, carrying over 10 million people per year. The line links the Vomero district with Via Toledo and Augustio, close to the Umberto shopping gallery. The line opened in 1928 and is one of the longest in the world at 1,234 metres, with 2 intermediate stops at Pretario and Corso Vittorio Emanuele. The line is mostly underground on a 13% gradient, carrying up to 28,000 passengers a day. Inside the funicular cars, it is relatively basic, just seats and in-carriage maps. No Wi-Fi or plug sockets, that's for sure. Journey times on all the lines are around 5 to 10 minutes long, so none of the lines are really too long, and none of them are too short either.
Here at Augusta, is it? I can't read the sign. Augustio, it's the terminus of Finicular Centrale. Now there's nothing here, so I'm going to go straight back on the next one. Up, back to Finicular Centrale, and then we're going to go on the 3rd funicular, third and final funicular for today. They're very weird, especially when they stop, because they keep on moving when the doors are open. So the doors are open, but the carriage, the cabin moves, it like sways. It's really weird. Anyway, let's get back on the next one. 10-minute wait. Back up to Finicular Centrale.
As aforementioned, it was once more straight back on the same funicular to Centrale, where I could then change my third and final funicular of the day. The third line, the Triaea funicular, links the area of Vanvitelli to Napoli, Piazza Amedo, Park and Margherita, which has onwards connection to Trenitalia Metro Line 2. This line is the oldest funicular railway in the world, opening way back in 1889, carrying just 500,000 passengers a year. The line has two intermediate stops, at Palazzolo and Emanuele. The line is half a kilometre long, with the steepest gradient today of 29%. The carriages travel at 7.5 metres per second, with this route taking only 3 minutes to complete. The line received major upgrade works in 2003, with the whole line restored and brought up to modern European safety standards, something which the other lines had done in the late 90s. So then, my thoughts on Naples funicular railways. Well, the 3 that I went on were really cool, definitely an experience and to me more of an attraction than a method of transport. With the Unico Naples Campagna ticket just costing €5.40, you might as well give them a look if you are in the Naples area. After reaching Park and Margherita, it was a 5-minute walk to Piazza Amedio, which has links to the Trenitalia network. Trenitalia is a national operator of Italy's trains, but they, for whatever reason, also run Napoli's Line 2, whilst the other metro lines are run by the A&M Group. Line 2 connects 12 stations from San Giovanni Bora to Pozzuoli Solfatara, cutting through the middle of the city. It's special as a metro line in that it's not really a metro line. It lies on the Naples-Pesante railway line, which also sees some intercity services to Caserta or Salerno. In other words, it operates slightly like the Elizabeth line or RER lines, but with some longer distance services also serving the stations. The headway for services is every 10 minutes, whilst the intercity services are around hourly. I luckily managed to get on one of these intercity style services. A large double-decker train pulled in to take me back to Garibaldi. This train, I believe, is an AIE 426-506 TAF train, whatever the heck that means, but the Line 2 services themselves are operated by 12 ETR 104 POP trains. Italy do like naming their trains pretty complicated. These types of trains, I believe, are the same type of train used by NS in the Netherlands, nicknamed the WASP trains which I've been on and made a video on before. Line 2 opened on the 20th of September 1925, so it's nearly 100 years old at the time of recording. As for my journey, well, it was rather nice. The train had aircon, which was good because I was really boiling at the time, and it felt very clean, and I believe it was on time. The train itself has these weird seats with plastic funneled headrests, which were predictably very uncomfortable. Anyway, I was now back at Garibaldi, where we began, but I was far from finished for today.
So technically that wasn't line 2, that was a mainline train. A mainline, what's it called? Trenitalia train to Cancello or somewhere. I thought it meant cancelled at first. We're going to go to line 1 and then we're going to connect on to the tram at Municipal, I think it's called. So, just going to go to line 1 now. And then we're going to get the tram. So I did do line 2 earlier in the day, so I'll put in some footage of that. But yeah, that was a mainline train on line 2 basically. Line 2 is ran by Trenitalia for some reason. It's sort of branded as a metro line, but in reality it's not. It's sort of like Crossrail. Anyway, line 1, Linea 1 is here to take us to Municipal or somewhere, which is where the trams are. So let's do that.
Yes, let's. Line 1 in Napoli serves 20 stations, opening in 1993, although it's currently being extended to add a further 7 stations, giving the line a full loop. The line runs from Piscinola Scampia to Centro Direzionale. I'll put it on screen, I have no idea how you pronounce that. The line serves large portions of West Napoli. The line itself was planned all the way back in 1963, but took a further 30 years before opening. As for rolling stock, the line used to use M1 trains, built by a consortium of rolling stock companies including Firma Trasporti. The trains were designed in the 1980s and were based off the Rome Metro MA100 series of trains. However, these trains have since been replaced by the CAF Ineo trains, with the M1 trains all retiring by 2024. These Ineo trains, all 24 of them, cost €87 million, but were delayed due to COVID-19. The line is 12 miles long and will be 22 miles when the loop is fully completed. The stations are all very special, as each was designed by a separate architect, who were given a lot of freedom to express their desires, with these stations being called art stations. Hence many stations on the route are deemed to be some of the finest in the world, so instead of going directly to Municipio, as I may have suggested, I decided to visit Toledo and Matadei, with Toledo station being crowned the most beautiful subway station in the world according to the Telegraph and CNN, whilst Matadei came 16th in a poll taken in 2012. The CAF Ineo trains themselves are really nice. They have aircon, which once again was very nice. They had modern displays, they had modern lighting, the trains were fully walk-through, they were good trains, and the metro line was pretty well used for a pretty short line. Hopefully the extension means that the trains are more frequent, they're every 10 minutes currently, but my time on the line was very positive. Let's go to Toledo Station, which is a masterpiece in itself, with its famous underwater artwork designed by Spanish architect Oscar Tusquets. The station gets its water theme due to an aquifer being located nearby, which caused severe flooding during its construction, hence opening in 2012 after other stations on the line. The sea artwork itself is designed by Robert Wilson and is called the Sea Gallery. It's entirely mosaic, with a large pillar in the middle designed to resemble a fountain jet. Artwork on the top floor makes reference to Vesuvius and Pompeii, with a topographical map of Naples in the background, whilst another section of the station features a mosaic of two figures pushing a cart, loaded with Parthenopean Republic symbols. The station is truly wonderful and is indeed one of the most beautiful in the world, rightly winning the 2013 Leaf Award for Public Building of the Year.
Made it to Toledo. Officially was the world's most beautiful station, as voted by the Telegraph and CNN in 2013, and it is quite nice. It's got a very aquatic theme. You can actually look down into the station. No idea what you're looking at there, but hopefully something good. Now we aren't finished on the metro. We're going to go to another stop, I can't remember what it's called, just along from here, which was the 13th most beautiful station in the world. And then we're going to go to that other station with the interchange for the tram, which I also can't remember. So, yeah.
On to Matadei, which is slightly less impressive. The station was designed by Alessandro Mendini, with artwork by Sandro Chia, Luigi Ontani and Sol LeWitt, with a glass spire overlooking the hallway designed by Mendini. The station is the only one with no surface level interchanges due to its location in a neighbourhood, not Main Street. Finally though, it was time to head to Municipio to try and get some tram action before returning back to Napoli city centre.
There goes the train. The Naples Metro is quite nice actually. New trains by CAF. But we're here at Municipio. We've been to two of the most pretty stations in the world, and we're now going to go on to some trams to back into the centre of Napoli, where we'll then end the video. My hair is going slightly crazy, but yeah, decent experience on line 1. We're going back up to do some trams. Hopefully they're also air conditioned because it's hot.
Municipio, or Municipio Porto, as it's officially known, opened in July 2015 and connects to the Line 4 Rapid Tramway, which opened in 2007, although it was closed at the time of visiting. I'm not entirely sure why. It may be due to only being served during the peak times due to lack of passenger demand. Hence, we won't be going on the Rapid Tramway line, but we'll be going on proper trams instead, not before looking at this awesome stairwell design here at Municipio. There are 7.3 miles of tram track in Naples, with the first horse-drawn tram opening in 1875. As with other cities in Europe, including in the UK, the tram network in the 60s, 70s and 80s was severely cut back, with the network currently having a T-shape with 3 different services running. The network, looking online, has had a lot of trouble with extensions, funding and other infrastructure issues. The stop that I find myself in at Municipio is clearly an unfinished or temporary stop, with a line due to continue along the main road, formerly Tram Route 31, with concrete blocks blocking the way. Construction has been paused since 2010 due to several issues, with plans to revive Naples' former tram network seemingly on hold, making the network today a rather stub network, with the line seeing trams around every 15 minutes. As for rolling stock, the line uses 22 Hitachi Serio trams, as well as some retro Peter Witt streetcars which date from 1933, although I could not see any in service when I was in Naples, so perhaps these only run on select dates. Do let me know. I waited a good 10 to 15 minutes for my tram, which was delayed. At first I didn't even know where it was running, as there was zero information at the stop or online, and Google Maps was rather inaccurate in its timings. The tram journey itself was relatively meh. It was a tram which dated from the mid-2010s, but thankfully had aircon. This seems to be a running theme in what modes of transport I enjoy. The journey took around 10 minutes to Naples Porto Nalona, the terminus of the Circumvesuviana Railway, where I was heading home. Well, home, I mean my hotel. I didn't even know the tram was going that way, and I believed it was going to go straight on at the T-junction, but Google was wrong, and instead it turned left to Porto Nalona. I have zero clue how you are meant to identify the direction of the tram, but I believe it's a number system. How you're meant to know this as a tourist, I've got no clue. Anyway, at Napoli Porto Nalona, I decided we had covered enough, and was also very hot, tired, and ready to go back to my hotel in Sorrento. The tram network does continue on, past Garibaldi, to Poggio Rila. Although looking at Google Earth, I believe the line continued on further, although due to construction works, it seems as though the tram is currently terminating at Poggio Rila, and it seems as though it's been that way for about 10 years now. Anyway, yes, back to me at Porto Nalona to wrap up today's video.
A rather hectic tram. I think it was about like 20 minutes late. I didn't know it was going to go this way. I mean, it's good because this is the Circumvesuviana stop, but I wasn't expecting it to go here. But yeah, this is where I will end this video. We've done pretty much all that Naples has to offer, except the buses. There is one just here, but they are just like buses. We've done the trams, we've done the trains, we've done the funicular, just the most important bit. So I hope you enjoyed. This is a bit of a put together video. I don't really know Naples, so it's all been a bit last minute. Hopefully it turns out to be a decent video. But yes, thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. Like, subscribe, all that. Goodbye.
And of course, a huge thank you to all my YouTube and Patreon members, including my first class members Aaron Barry and Crispin McKee, my business zone members Andrew Bowen, Anthony Harris, Anthony James Moore, ARK, Connor Grieg, Clive's Travel and Trains, Craig Mitchell 43, Dave CDF, Gordon Walker, Jay Teco, JBNEL, Lewis C21, NJTE, Real, Scott Wheeler, That Transport Girl, and Will Ho, and my standard premium members, as well as all my standard members. Thanks so much, all your support is greatly appreciated. If you want to become a YouTube or Patreon member with exclusive perks such as early access to new videos, exclusive members only videos, and access to special channels in my Discord server, then all the information is in the description below. Thank you, and goodbye.